This is Reforming on Air. I'm your host, Genevieve Ross. Welcome back to Reforming on Air. I'm your host, Genevieve Ross, and I'm so excited to welcome back our COO, Elisa Zambrano. Today's episode is really exciting because this is something we do every single night before we go to bed. Yeah. We have a call.
Yeah.
We have like a nightly call, and we discuss like the trends of the market.
Yeah. Keep our eye everywhere.
Everywhere. So today's episode is about what is trending in the market and what you foresee the trends to be in 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to talk about this because we do it every single night. What are we noticing that are the biggest trends in the fitness and wellness space at the moment?
I think definitely the hot room, right? Which you've seen at Body.
Mm-hmm. Body Hot Pilates.
Body Hot Pilates.
I'm the co-owner of that with Lindsay Mead. She's an incredible instructor. Shout out. And we just opened in Aventura. So if you haven't been, you should really check it out. But yes, Hot Pilates is...
Hot Pilates. Bar.
Yeah, bar's back.
Bar is back.
Why do you think bar went out? Because it was out for a little.
It was out for a little. I think the Pilates space kind of took over the bar. It was never big in Miami.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't out. Maybe it just it's we feel like it's back.
Because here in New York, it was a couple studios had closed. I think what also happened is that the corporate world took over for the bar space. So everyone was going to big chains.
You can say them.
Yeah, Pure Bar. No, of course, Pure Bar.
Dare you say it.
So I think it made it harder for boutique studios to kind of get into that space. I think people were too scared, maybe.
And to compete probably with the pricing or you know.
They can probably fit more in the room. And people don't mind it as much. So I think
so. Bar took a lull, but bar's back. We've seen that here at the Only Studio. Bar is killing it. People are loving it. So yeah, bar is a good trend. Let's talk about my favorite one because that's how you're a spin instructor. Yeah. I love spinning. I've been standing by spin even when it wasn't cool.
Yeah,
I will say that I stood by it. What happened with spin? Because we had Flywheel, they shut down.
Flywheel, a lot of those shut down though during COVID.
Okay.
I from what I saw at least.
But they didn't open back up. No, a lot of them didn't. I don't know why. I felt like spin was like so cool, and then it dropped, like so and now it's like it's coming back a little.
Coming back a little bit. I see it a lot in like, kind of like in the West Coast or Midwest, like
Arizona. Arizona's killing it in the spin space.
I just think there's a big boom in the fitness industry everywhere. There's almost like a need for it.
Also, maybe Peloton hindered that whole space.
Yeah.
Because during COVID, no one wanted to interact, no one wanted to go anywhere, so everyone ordered a Peloton, and then it was like...
They all had the bike.
They had it at home. So now, I think people are wanting to leave their house and leave the bike at home. It's now just...
Well, yeah, because there's a big community aspect to taking classes. I mean, people enjoy taking classes in the studio space, in the community space. It's more fun.
Do you think... Because when I bought my Peloton, there was a 6-month waiting list for this bike.
Yeah.
I could not sell it on Facebook Marketplace. I couldn't sell it. No one wanted the bike.
Where were you?
Miami. Like no one wanted to buy this bike.
So you already had it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at one point people couldn't get rid of their Pelotons.
Yeah.
What do you think Peloton could have done differently?
Honestly, I don't know because I don't know what their projection was. Granted, they opened pre-COVID. COVID boomed their manufacturer.
They killed it. They loved it. Living their best life.
Everyone has one, so now you turn into a service subscription instead of selling bikes. So how do you kind of...
Well, I know what I would have done as a business owner if I was leading that ship. You want to know what I would have done?
Yeah.
I would have told everyone we have a buyback program. Hear me out.
I think they did something like that.
No. You hear me out. This is a brilliant plan. You're going to die for this plan. Buy back the bike.
Yeah.
Use that bike to staff a brick and mortar studio.
Yeah. Take off the screen, the monitor.
And then open physical spaces.
And get a discount on your membership.
Because you were one of the OGs that had the bike. Because now everyone's back in
back
person.
your bike. Yeah.
If they do this in a couple months, then we know.
And they're listening to the podcast.
So yeah, spin's back.
It'll come back. I think there's going to be a want for cardio again.
Yeah.
I think also, I think the people they kind of always want to experiment with their body, go into different modalities with their body. You get bored doing the same thing over and over. Sometimes I could do the same thing over and over. It doesn't bother me, but I think people like to be stimulated, challenged. So maybe there will be a need for cardio again. I think the heated rooms, heated classes are kind of taking that void for people right now, because when you're in the heat, your heart rate is pumping up. And especially if it's a dark room and the music is loud, it kind of mimics that whole, I'm sweating, I'm dripping sweat, like as if I was in a spin class.
Yeah.
So it gives you that adrenaline rush.
Let's talk about rumble, boxing, dance body.
Interesting. I see it, but I don't hear people going
I don't hear people going to it either.
But is it primarily, I wonder where their first brick and mortar was. Was it Miami, South Florida? I don't know.
You mean out of the whole company?
Yeah. Where did
I don't
it
know.
originate?
Maybe New York? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But okay, so we can foresee that the trend is going to be the hot room, bar, spin's going to come back. What is your take on weightlifting?
I think it has such a potential.
I do too. I've always
so.
we've discussed this.
Look, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, they're always packed. People go there weekend, night, morning, it's packed. So there's obviously a need for it. Some people have the luxury of having a nice weight room in their apartment building, but I still feel like it doesn't meet some people's needs and criteria. You need those bigger machines, you need those bigger weights that a apartment gym won't have. So I think we're looking at a lot of trends. We're talking a lot of trends that gear towards the female market, but weightlifting would gear more towards the male market. I know my brother would probably pay a lot more money for going to a nice gym that will only allow X amount of people per hour.
So we're back to the boutique fitness trend.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because who wants to wait for the machine?
Yeah.
Who wants to be in a big, loud gym where they're slamming the weights on the ground? I'd rather be in a nicer, similar to Equinox, but not quite.
So anatomy.
Yeah, but I don't even know if anatomy is like that. Is it?
I don't know. Can't speak on that. I have no knowledge.
I've never been.
No, never been. If we look at consumer trends, this is what I love, is the consumer trend. If we look at an average client that comes into the studio, I want to say 2 years ago, and maybe this is because I'm speaking from a New York mindset because I lived there for so long. So let's not say 2 years. Let's say 5 years ago, everyone was booking via a class pass because they wanted to go to different places. What is that consumer trend like now? Do you think people are buying more in-house packages? Do you think they're using these third-party apps? What is that?
Third-party apps are being used more than they were before.
You think they're being used more than before?
I think so.
Is that in Florida or is that in New York?
At least in Florida.
In Florida, people are, that's really picking up. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I don't know if it's costs. I don't know if it's people think that it's cheaper when a lot of times it doesn't equate that it is cheaper. People don't want to commit to one place.
I also think that a lot of places
don't offer enough.
They don't offer enough variety, but also they're not like, their packages expire after 3 months.
Right.
So maybe that's why you want to be able to, explore multiple different modalities. But if you buy an in-house, it's not going to last a year like it does at Reforming.
I think it's also commitment. People don't want to feel like they're committing to one space. What if they don't want to take a class there that week? Or I think it's also the commuter world that we live in Miami. You can't just always depend unless you live like here where you can just walk across the street and go to Reforming. It's not there. People don't have enough gyms within their walking distance. I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting to follow that trend as well and see who the big game changers are in that market for a consumer.
Yeah. If you look at Pure Barre and Club Pilates, the majority of them are not on ClassPass.
Yeah. And
you look at their schedule and they're waitlisted. So how are they breaking that mold? I guess is the real question.
And do we,
or is it the demographics that they're approaching?
Yeah, maybe they're approaching the older kind of clientele that wouldn't be the
pay a subscription. They rather just pay their monthly membership.
But it's funny you say that, because I've noticed a lot of younger people buying in-house packages now, because they know what they want. They want to come to Pilates.
You get priority.
You get priority booking. You get, more slots, competitive rates. Studios are a lot more lenient with cancellations.
Of course.
So definitely, I think that's also something to consider. In terms of what you're seeing within the class, because you're there every day, you're like on the ground, what trends are you seeing with Pilates? Because we can speak on that, whether it's hot Pilates, reformer, whether it's bar. What are the trends you're seeing in terms of the clientele that's coming in? Because I've been seeing a lot more men.
I don't.
You don't?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
Okay.
Next topic.
Oh, you're ignoring. Maybe you're just ignoring them. I don't know. No, but
many men.
I feel like I'm seeing a lot more men lately.
No.
In the hot room?
Not in my hot room.
Maybe they're scared of you.
It's possible.
But what do you think that, like, how can brands shift that trend to welcome a more diverse audience into their space? Because a lot of people for a while are, when you think Pilates, you think bar, you think of all these sort of fitness companies, they're 90% woman focused. What is because I think that's going to be a big trend that's going to change.
Is men coming in too?
Is men coming in?
I don't see why they don't. Maybe, I don't see why they don't.
So I see a lot of men, the trend is that it's predominantly woman-dominated industry. How do we, not only us, but all businesses in the fitness space, because we're alienating 50% of the population, how do we change the trends going forward to welcome more men into the space? Yeah. Like, we have to stop biting them, maybe scratching. But other than that, how do we make them feel welcome in class?
There's got to be a way, whether it's marketing or whether it's just energy-wise, but we have to start shifting the mindset. I don't know, maybe offering a class just for men so then they can kind of like ease into the studio. But that's definitely a untapped market that I have to strategize to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see a lot more men, though. I've seen, even towards the end of last year to now, there's all this TikTok content, social media content about gym bros doing Pilates and all that. I think they're coming around.
But you know what I don't like about it is that it still makes it a joke. It's like they're coming in, they're like, ow, ow. Like they kind of like film the men at their worst position where they're struggling in the movement, which is funny on like swiping through your phone. But then it even adds on to that whole psychological aspect, like, oh my God, I'm going to go to that class. I'm not going to be able to survive.
Yeah. So which is the case for 90% of the people in the class, whether you're male or female.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So it's like, so I don't like how
that's a good answer. Yeah, so I think definitely shifting that narrative to
shifting it in the aspect to almost scare them away from the classes.
Yeah.
So how do we paint it as a prettier picture?
Yeah. I think that is going to be something we're going to see a lot more of this year, is men really immersing themselves in the fitness space.
That I've had men in my classes, it's their wife bringing them as a joke, and then they don't come back.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we make it not a joke?
I think you'll see this year. I have faith in that.
Privates are men.
Yeah, majority of privates are men.
Privates are men.
Which is, I think they just need that little.
How do we get them into the group classes?
Yeah, I think that's going to be an exciting trend to follow. But I would love to hear from everyone listening, like what they think the upcoming trends are, what they think is.
We could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, we're never wrong. But I want to know what they think, like what for them has been a shift.
Yeah.
That they're noticing in the fitness space. And I think that'll be really cool. So if you're listening to this and you've noticed some trends, or there's things that you want to see that, a lot of places aren't delivering, whether it's, booking services, customer services, class offerings, I would love you to reach out to us at Reforming Pilates on social media and tell us, like, what do you think the biggest trends are going to be, and how as a business can we keep up with the demands of those trends?
And almost like answer your requests.
Yeah. Definitely. So if you're listening, reach out. We will be back again with another topic. But for today, like I said, let us know what you want to see in the industry, what trends you think are missing, and how we can accommodate, what people want.
Yeah.
because really they're the ones that are driving the trend is the consumer. So let us know. And once again, thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge with us. And until next time, this is Reforming on Air, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, share your comments, suggestions, and you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. You can reach us on social media or in a studio near you.